Okay. So the last two things in the chain are going to be de-essing and post EQ. De-essing is going to sort of flatten out any mid-range energy that is harsh on the ears. And we'll talk about that in detail. I have an excellent technique for de-essing that I think I made up. Probably didn't make this one up, but I did for myself. So what is a de-esser doing? They work in different ways and there's different designs to them. But for the most part, what you're doing is defining a section of the sound of your track that is harsh on the ears and that's pokey and that is making things glare in terms of audio glare. What this range is up to you, right? There is no magic de-essing range where we always de-ess 2 dB between 7 and 14K. No, it's not like that. It's track dependent, instrumentation dependent, mix dependent. So you can, but I don't recommend you use de-essing presets. I want you to cook from scratch with this stuff and it comes out better. Trust me. So for those who are de-essing, what de-esser are you using? It's kind of funny. There aren't as many de-essers on the market as you would wish. So this is still my go-to. Sometimes I wish that there was more options. Alloy is a good one, but this is an excellent option and works very well. It's very simple and it's very powerful. So when you open up Pro De-ess, you have two options. You can have it an algorithm that tracks single vocals, which is sort of stuff in a similar frequency range, or sort of a full range, all around thing that's looking at all frequencies sort of equally. And that's what we want for mastering, right? And even actually on a single vocal, I don't use single vocal. I never can make single vocal work. Acts weird on me, but all around works on single vocals and on everything. So that's what I do. Then there's two different kinds of behaviors. One is wideband and one is split band. So the offending band that we're going to define here is going to get limited, right? And it can either be sort of have a wideband behavior or split band behavior. We like split band because it's really only affecting what's inside this left and right parameter that we're going to define. So that's for mastering. Of course, you want to turn your oversampling on to 4 times oversampling. And then you can link or stereo link the mids or the sides. You can de-ess just the sides, just the mids, or a blend of the two. I kind of like this 10 o'clock link here on the stereo link, which just makes the left and right channel a little bit independent in terms of sibilance, and it maintains a little bit of width. So the first thing that you're going to do, we don't need these VU meters. Let's get our real estate back here. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to hit this audition button and we're going to slide these sliders around until we have to find the harsh zone. The harsh zone, not according to numbers or nothing, just the harsh zone according to you on this given day with this given track. So this is one of those opportunities where, as an engineer, you're trying to make things sound as bad as possible. Once it sounds as terrible as possible, you know you've done a good job. So let's do that. So everybody's different. But to me, on this track, that was as nasty as I could make it sound. That's when my teeth started to hurt. And this was 8, and I don't care about the numbers, but this is sort of like 8K to sort of like 12K, whatever that is. That to me was the harsh zone, right? And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the mix. It's not that at all. It's just like that's where a bit of the glare is in this particular track. What's going to happen is inside of this band has now been defined. This band is going to hit a limiter. And so all of those transients inside of those boundaries are going to get hit by a limiter and flattened. And they're going to get flattened down, and rounded down so that they're not spiky and glary, but they're smooth and rounded off. And also a little bit concentrated, just like when we put a limiter on the whole mix, it kind of takes all those spiky transients and flattens them out and brings up the power. This and creates a smoothness. This is going to take this harsh zone, start to flatten the spiky transients, but it's actually going to create a smooth little nice flat wall that you could eat lunch on or something. So I always say that what de-essers are they're like sunglasses, right? If you walk out on a very shiny, bright, sunny day, which it's not here today, but it has been, and you can't see anything because of the glare of the sun, that glare of the sun is the same as this glare in the mid-range for the human ear. And so when you put on sunglasses, all of a sudden you can see the boats and the river and the blueberries and the grass and you can see all the details that are outside because you're not getting hit by the glare. These are sunglasses for audio. Once you start to take a little bit of the glare out of your track, you can hear things better. You can hear the separation better. You can hear the instruments better. You can hear the low end better because your ears are not getting attacked by spiky mid-range. Once you get above sort of like 16K, I would say, then you're sort of in the air zone. And that usually doesn't like hurt your ears in the same way. It's kind of reverby and high endy. It can be a little hissy up there and it can be a little noisy and hissy, but it doesn't hurt. The things that usually hurt are in the upper mids. That's typical, right? So now what I'm going to do is, and this limiter that this section is going to hit here has no controls. There's no attack, no release, no ratio. It's just kind of doing its auto thing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this audition button and I'm just going to start to work this threshold where I'm just taking a little bit of the spikiness out of it. And this is my proprietary technique for setting a de-esser, which I think I invented. I don't know if I did. So this sounds like this. So it's exactly like working with clipping. It's the same exact thing. It allows you to listen to the delta and not over de-ess or under de-ess, but actually just get the toppy little it's clipping is another subject. It's related to limiting where you do a little bit of soft clipping to the signal in front of the limiter. Same technique at getting the sweet spot. So now you see the gain reduction or the de-essing showing up here in red on this side. And now I can control, now I've set the right sensitivity coming in. I can control how much de-essing is happening by the range, right? So now watch as I move this range, you'll see this red going down and you'll see how much de-essing is being set. So it's setting a de-esser is like the perfect pair of sunglasses. If the sunglasses are too dark, you actually can't see things. And if you overly de-ess a mix, it gets kind of dull and slurry in a weird way. And if you don't do enough, then you didn't do enough. So you have to kind of find that sweet spot, and it has to be very, very delicate. And you notice I'm typing and I'm doing very, very light de-essing. Once you kind of have it very lightly de-essing, everything's working the way you want. When you bypass, it actually should sound clearer, like a good pair of sunglasses. You should be able to see clearer into the mix and hear the low end better because the glare of the mid-range has been flattened and also concentrated a little bit. So sometimes it actually sounds brighter with the de-esser in. But again, you have to be very, very light-handed with this. And it may be when I'm playing it right now and I'm going in and out of bypass, you're like, yeah, I don't hear the difference, but you'll train your ears to hear it. And you have to play with it at home. And again, it's not something that we exaggerate. It's quite the opposite. Something that you're very light-handed about. I'll just play it really quickly again. I especially hear it in the kick. I hear the kick change tone, and it just sounds cleaner. When sometimes we listen to each other's mixes and we say, it sounds so clean. This is one of the things that makes things sound clean. All right, cheers.